Good morning, Susannah. First of all, thank you very much for taking part in the Business Spotlight series. It's great to have you on. As I mentioned, I've often walked past the shop, so it's great to find out a bit more about you. So on that note, I'm going to hand it over to you to introduce yourself and what you do.
Brilliant, thanks Ed. It's really kind of you to have me on, and I'm glad you've walked past my shop. So my shop is called Susannah Lovis, which is my name as well. I've been in the Burlington Arcade for nearly 27 years. I specialise in, it's a jewellery shop. A lot of what we do is selling vintage designer, old designer pieces. So, you know, Cartier jewellery from anything from the 1920s to almost up to date, actually. We sell old Tiffany jewellery, old Bulgari jewellery. I also design a lot myself, more as a service to our own customers. So, you know, if someone wants their granny's engagement ring remodelling, happy to take on that. We do all the repairs that you'd expect a jeweller to do. We have a registered valuer who works for us as well, so we do the valuations. And after having run the business for 25 years, we get a lot of repeat business, which is really, really nice. So a lot of regulars that we see every Christmas, every birthday, and throughout the year as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, I was just about to ask you, you have a lot of repeat business there. So, and who is a sort of typical customer that might come in?
Customers from all walks of life. You never know who's going to walk through the door next. We've had a few A-list celebrities come in, and royalty. We had 2 princesses in last week. and yeah, we do commissions for them, or they buy off the shelf. One of my big customers was Barbara Windsor, who sadly passed last year, but she was a pleasure to deal with. But otherwise I can't really mention anyone's names, but we also lend jewellery to people for the catwalks and for TV appearances. We lend to Tess Daly and Holly Willoughby quite a lot for their Saturday night shows. So yeah, and then we have you know, anyone looking for an engagement ring, anyone. Our price levels start at about £500 and they go up to about 200,000, I think, is the most expensive ring. But it's you know, engagement rings, and people who really like designer jewelry but want old collections, want pieces from old collections, and like the idea of also investing in jewelry. You know, historically jewelry has always increased in value over the years, and it's really nice to supply things that, you know, people can enjoy and wear every day. And we do get a lot of women coming in who want to buy jewelry for themselves to feel a bit more, you know, powerful in the boardroom. Or I had a teacher from Pakistan who sounds like she has quite a challenge with the authorities teaching in a local school, and she said to me, I just want something to make me feel that I'm more powerful against these officials that I'm constantly fighting against, to allow me to teach in the way that I want to teach these pupils to teach, and jewelry does that. It's very powerful.
I'm curious as to what she actually got now, what piece she got to make her feel more powerful.
She just got a gold necklace. And she just said it just, you know, she put it on and she just feels like she has a bit more yeah, and yeah, and she really enjoyed the whole experience of buying it and thinking about it. And you know, it's when you meet someone like that, it's really nice to know where the jewelry's going as well, to you know, someone who really appreciates it, and probably you know, future generations will enjoy it, that she can pass it on to, so she can use it for years, and you know, and it has that sentimentality too.
Yeah, definitely. And it's nice from your side as well to know the impact that it has. It's not just someone buying something transactionally, it has an actual significance and a benefit to them in other ways.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. And look, you mentioned there that she was having different challenges. Obviously, we've all come through an interesting
Yeah.
time. What was the impact of COVID on the business?
It was huge. So to be told suddenly, right, doors are closed, your customers can't come in, everyone stays at home. It was massive, and I think that during the pandemic, I know a lot of people quite enjoyed being at home with their families and had quite a nice time. But as a business owner, I think that it was a real struggle to try and get through the worry of how you would pay the staff, how you would pay everything, the rent and and all the expenses of the business while we don't have any customers. And we did rely mostly on passing trade, on people just walking past, seeing a beautiful ring and wanting to buy it there and then. Luckily, we had spent a lot of money investing in our website. Excuse me one second. We had spent a lot of money investing in our website, and it was in quite a good position. But to be traveling, still going to work and just relying on the phones to ring, that an existing customer would just phone and say, look, it's my wife's birthday, I need something, what have you got? And I think we spent about 2 weeks at home, and then myself and one colleague would go in every day and wait for the phone to ring. We also did worn images for the jewellery, so everything on our website now has a model wearing it, so which has made a big difference to our online sales, because people can see the size of the piece and how an earring might look in someone's ear, and
Sure. That's something you've continued to do.
Yes, so that was actually one of the things that we took from the pandemic, was we can expand online and we can increase the business significantly without having another shop or doing anything drastically enlarging the shop or anything. Our expansion can be online, and the good thing is about the pandemic that it taught people, and older people, to use their computers, because it was the only way of contacting their families. So we were offering Zoom consultations, and the government obviously helped pay the staff. So as the weeks went past, it got a bit easier knowing that your staff were going to get paid, even though the money wasn't coming in as it normally would. And the landlords did help us with the rent. So we got through it. But by the time it ended, we had got our website into a really good position. So going forward, when the doors were eventually allowed to open, we still continued to do the same levels of trade online as we were doing in the shop. So now we are in a stronger position.
Excellent.
Yeah,
that's a good outcome from it, at least, isn't it? So, and moving forward, what do you see the challenges being?
Well, of course, it wasn't just the pandemic that's challenged my business. Being in luxury, it was also the effects of Brexit and tourists not being able to reclaim their VAT when they leave the country. And also our trade with Europe has been really seriously curtailed because of the bureaucracy in sending an item to any country in Europe. And it usually gets sent back rather than being delivered to a customer. So we've had to deal with that, because a lot of our customers were in Europe, and a lot of Europeans just won't come to England anymore, or won't order from us, traders in England. So we found it's much easier to deal with local people, obviously, English people, and also deal with Americans and the Far East. We have customers as well. But it's been hard, but I think that you have to push through, and it's looking forward to the future. It's building on our existing clientele and really looking after them. So we do reward people who recommend us, and we do thrive from word of mouth recommendations, so we'll always go back and send them a couple of bottles of wine to say thank you, or and I think that's really important. And we invite customers to various talks that I give on gemstones or jewellery. We do valuation events that we invite people to. So it's building on our existing client base, and also enticing new customers in through our website and various marketing initiatives that we plan throughout the year.
Yeah, and I think, as you said, some challenging times, but it's about pushing through and looking for ways to succeed in spite of what we can't control.
Exactly. And I think about being in business is actually about every time you think you're fairly safe, another obstacle is put in your way, and you climb over that obstacle, and then you face the next one and the next one and the next one. And it is about getting over those obstacles and knowing that you are going to face them every turn, and just doing them, getting over them, and having a good sense of humor. And also
it reminds me of I don't know if you've ever seen the image of your plan, which is a straight line from where you are to the goal, and reality, which is
yes, exactly.
So excellent. And look, on a sort of similar note then, what would you say has been the biggest learning you've had in all the years you've been as a business owner?
I think that it's to rely, it's not probably what you want to hear, but it's to rely on your own gut instinct. And after considering everything and the things that you have to rely on, like staff recruitment, to buying a really expensive piece of jewelry, it's that instinct that someone will be right for the job you're offering them, or you will be able to sell this piece of jewelry that you're investing a lot into, because it's fantastic and no one else will be. And if someone sees it in the shop, they won't be able to find another piece. And it's so when you make a decision, and all things considered, if the logical path is the one you think you should go to, I think you have to be challenged by your gut. And I've found that usually my gut instinct is generally the right one to go with.
Yeah, I think you're probably underselling your gut instinct there, where you've got a lot of experience and what people would like, in terms
exactly
of jewelry.
Yeah, and staff as well. Who's going to be good, and also I think that it's really important to train your staff really well, and we do a lot of selling courses that yearly selling courses that all our existing staff go on, just to make them aware, because people turn into a sort of autopilot after a while, particularly salesmen or saleswomen, and you really need people to connect directly with our customers, in order to find out exactly what they want from buying a piece of jewelry, and to get into the sort of inner psyche of what the customer wants, and to be able to assure them that what they're buying is the best possible quality that they can get, and we'll always stand behind everything we sell. So
fantastic. Okay, so that was a good detailed answer to that one. So I've got another one that's a bit similar but a bit different. What advice would you have for your 18-year-old self?
It's so hard, because I can hardly remember when I was 18. I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, but it's really to go with something you love to do. I only discovered jewellery and gemology in my early 20s. Well, it was gemology first, and after that I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and it's a really fun job. It's if someone had told me at school I could study gemology at university, I would have been there like a shot, but they didn't. So I had to encounter it and then realize that I was completely hooked on it. And I think that success comes when you really enjoy your job and the business, and to be able to handle amazing gemstones is a real privilege, as well as, you know, knowing about the history of jewellery and the longevity of buying a piece of jewellery that lasts for generations, and has incredible sentiment attached to it. So it's a great job.
That's great. That's great, and it feeds in nicely to my next question, which is, you know, what inspires you? Obviously, there's a passion there. What would you say inspires you?
I think I'm inspired by the, actually it does lead on, by the sentiment that people attach to these pieces. You know, when you sell an engagement ring, it's such an important event in someone's life that they'll always remember where they bought their engagement ring from and the experience they had in the shop, and they'll probably remember me as well. And it's a real privilege to be part of, you know, one of these big milestones in people's lives. And you know, it's always lovely when you meet you know, someone who says, oh, this was passed to me by my grandmother, and I just feel when I wear it that I'm wearing part of her. And that's really great to know that you're supplying amazing jewellery that is going to be treasured its whole life, really enjoyed, passed on to future generations. And yeah, that's what inspires me, and the satisfaction that my customers get from knowing they've got something really, really good. There's not much you can leave behind, is there, Ed?
No, but that's it's still nice to have an impact during the time you can leave something. Exactly. So nice story behind it. And as a final thing, Susannah, is there any news or any offer you'd like to share with the audience?
Just trying to think. I mean, moving forward, it is just concentrating on our existing clients and treating them to events that we've got coming up. We're doing a event on emeralds fairly shortly, which we're really excited about. As far as offers and things, we don't have offers or sales in the vintage jewelry business, because vintage jewelry has the value, and we'll always you know, help people buy what they want, but we don't really do special offers. But we're looking forward to coming out of you know, the remnants of the pandemic, and hoping that it's not going to happen again, and just pushing the business forward, and hopefully, you know, being able to carry on despite all those obstacles that we have talked about.
Indeed. And just on that, the event about the emeralds, is that open to non-customers as well, or is that just a client-only event?
It can be, if someone wants to contact us about it. Absolutely. It's very interesting, because a lot more emeralds are being produced in Africa now than in Colombia and Brazil. So there's an interesting time for emeralds, and it's whether the Colombian emeralds will retain their value, whilst there are lots of other ones coming up. But there's a bit more to it than that, but it is a nice event.
Fantastic. Yeah, so if you're looking at emeralds, then you need to get there and see which ones you should be looking at the most.
Absolutely.
Look, thank you very much. It's been great to speak to you, and nice to put a face to a name for the shop too in the arcade walking past. So thank you very much for the part.
Well, thank you, Ed. And next time you're walking past, do pop in. Be lovely.
I will indeed.